Hey, BA50s, Felice Shapiro here with my friend Holly Eger, author of Split Rock, and now another book that's coming out. And she's got a blog, which you'll read because it's going up this week. What an incredible writer. And so many of us try to figure out how to finish things. We start, but we don't know how to finish. Some of us have ideas and we think, oh my God, I wish I'd done that. And Holly finishes great work. And I want to talk to her a little bit about her process.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So Holly, what are you working on? Okay, this is a real book. She created it. We love it here on Martha's Vineyard. Do you want to talk a little bit about your process of how you get the idea and move it along?
Okay, well, with Split Rock is different. I was kind of possessed with it. I can't say that it was my idea. I kind of just had to get it out of myself. And when I was writing it, no, I'm going like this because I'm typing. I never knew what my characters would say. I had an outline. So, so I did know that. And I knew where everyone was going, but I was still constantly surprised. The project I'm writing now is very different because it's historical fiction and it's real story about a scoundrel, kind of more of a villain of an uncle. And that's really different because that's putting together a timeline that's I now have that's 70,000 words.
70,000 words?
Of the outline, yeah.
Oh
and I have, because I had to figure out when everything was happening. So that's just very different. So I'd say it depends on the project.
Right.
But one thing I would say is that I use my subconscious a lot. And I get ideas. I do keep a little notebook most of the time. I'm not very organized. I try to. And then I think before I go to sleep about whatever it is I'm working on. And then I just have this idea that when I wake up, I'm going to have an idea. And then before the radio, before the coffee, before my husband bothers me, I will try to write down the notes of what my subconscious figured out in the night. And I also take naps. And when I'm writing, I always take a nap every day. And for about 18 minutes, it used to be 8 minutes, now it's 18. And I'll think about my problem that I can't figure out with a plot, whatever. And then when I wake up, I just know what to do. It's like a brand new day.
Okay.
I really recommend napping.
So some people have showers. Now you have naps.
Oh yeah, I think naps. Well, I like showers too, but
So it's so interesting. You talk about the subconscious. So you're saying that you don't like force the kind of, when you come up against something, you don't force your way to the other side. You kind of let go to sleep, take a nap, and then it begins to sort itself out.
Yeah, within a larger outline.
Okay.
I do believe in outlines. I don't like, I think, when you're reading a book that someone just made up as they went along, you're going to make up parts of it as you go along, but I think it's good to have a structure. And then the structure, you have to there's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that goes into the structure.
So did you write the outline as a true outline before you began the writing, or is it all happening while it's happening?
Excellent question. With Split Rock, I did have an outline that then I changed. And then I was very fluid with that. But with this historical fiction, because I had to figure out all the dates and everything, that's going to be much stricter.
Okay.
And that's a very good question. Okay. I would say be flexible, but I always say have a roadmap and know where you're going to go, but at the same time you have trust that you have headlights on your car. And even with headlights, you only see 100, 200 feet ahead. So this is not my metaphor. Someone else told me this. I don't know where I learned it, but trust that you're going to be able to, with your map, you're going to be able to trust that you'll know what to do with those 200 feet that you can see.
I like that.
Yeah.
Well, writers always have to trust because we never, trust is important. I mean, all of you people who are writers are probably thinking, oh my God, I don't know if I can produce this piece. I don't know if it's going to look great. And then you just get going. So I like that metaphor because it's true for all of us.
Writing is hard and I actually kind of hate it. And sometimes I say, why do I do this? But I don't know how to do anything else. I do also print out something and I read it. It looks very different when you print it out and I read everything out loud. And
Mhm.
and then I make changes, and I find it's interesting, you make changes on the computer and then also what you write down. And I try to let it sit. So never send anything to a magazine or whatever at night. Wait till the morning and you'll see something different.
That's great. Now, in terms of like finishing,
Mhm.
okay, we got the process. Do you have a date in mind? You know, the Stephen Covey thing, begin with the end in mind, that you're working towards some pressured deadline, or are you just getting up every day and working? Like, how do you create a routine for yourself that you stick with?
That's the $1,000,000 question. Well, you have two questions in there. How do you create the routine and how do you create the deadline? Okay, let's go with the routine. The routine I find very difficult. And I say to myself, because I was a stay-at-home mother for a long time, and I'm really a corporate wife when it comes right down to it. And I have a wonderful but needy husband. And
This is being recorded.
yeah, I know. He's nothing I haven't told him. So I think every day of Virginia Woolf, who said, arrange the pieces you were given. And I several times a day, I'll say that to myself, and I'll say, okay, I have to do this. I have to do this for the kids. I have to do this for my granddaughter. I have to do this for the house. I have to feed everybody. But I have to figure out within that, I'm still a very lucky person. I'm going to arrange the pieces I'm given, and I'm going to steal away for 2 hours. And I try to plan it like a dentist appointment. You're like, okay, if I can make myself go to a dentist appointment, I can make myself go to my chair and
your she shed.
yeah, well, not everyone has a she shed. I mean, I actually find it very hard to compose in my house because I'm such a good doobie and a wife of the 80s. And I think, oh, there's another thing I should do in my house. There's always laundry. There's always something you're supposed to do. So I actually cleared out our little garden shed, which was I just brought actually which was really dirty and the hose and soil and stuff. But I just brought a card table out there and worked with my battery charged. I didn't have electricity and I had to wear a hat. It was cold, hat, my Ugg boots and everything to get myself out of the house.
Okay,
So
that's important. The space is important.
And I wrote Split Rock mostly in libraries.
Yeah.
So I would just go to the library. I have a hard time at Starbucks. I can do that, but I have to have headphones.
Right.
And even now I have a little shed, which is perfectly quiet, but even there I wear my headphones because then I can get into wherever I'm supposed to be.
What's coming into your headphones?
Nothing.
Oh,
nothing.
Okay, like earplugs is really what they're like earplugs.
I have those really good Bose noise canceling, and then it's totally silent.
Yeah.
And then I can get into the 19th century, which is what I have to do now.
Yeah.
Or before, when I was writing Split Rock, I only write historical fiction. That takes place in 1997, and I was writing it in 2015 or something. So I had to just still transport myself. Wow. Yeah, I can't write with music, but I can edit with music maybe. And editing's different. But anyway, as far as the deadline is really a problem. I was having a very hard time. It took me 15 years to write Split Rock. So, I mean, I'm not going to tell anyone about deadlines.
Right.
Because I'm terrible at it.
It's not going to take you 15 years to write this.
No, this project's different.
Our runway's a little different than it was 15 years ago. So
15 years
you're going to get to do too much. Sorry.
I think you need to get help. Yo-Yo Ma always says, find the helpers. So I would say I did a writing workshop and that gave me, and the teacher wasn't that nice. And she was like, you need to finish this. And then like the third time I did the same writing workshop, because it was fun. She said, what the hell are you doing here? Get out of here. I don't want to see you again until you have your draft finished. Right. Once you finish your first draft, then it's really fun because then you get to edit. And then you're really motivated. You can see the finish line. Right. It's just very hard to finish the first draft.
So as writers, we're not alone in our process. I asked Holly to write a blog of 600 words, which I don't know if it was challenging or joyful, but teaching my writing workshops, I find deadlines to be so motivating, and I'm willing to put in the hours at the last minute just to have it produced. But if you told me I had to write a book, I mean, that's just a whole nother situation. So what was it like for you to write a blog, a 600-word blog?
I kept waiting till I had an idea. And then I knew you wanted it by Sunday night. So Saturday morning, I was actually just had a notebook and I was carrying it around waiting for an idea. Finally, I didn't have one. I said, oh, I have the deadline. It is motivating. And then, but getting back, so it was a pain, and then I rewrote it a lot
Well,
of
it's great.
times.
So I hope you'll read it. We got it on BA 50. It's great. It's actually a perfect blog. All the structure of it is amazing. I've been teaching blogging for a long time now, and this is one of those blogs where it's got everything. You're going to be drawn in 600 words. You're going to feel like you have an entire story here in a short amount of time. It's a great exercise, really.
Thank you. Yeah, it is
And
good
you did it.
exercise.
Yeah, you did it.
The
beautifully.
essay's hard though. I think sometimes writing a long piece is much easier than an essay.
Okay, well, to each his own, baby. So anyway, Holly, thank you so much for sharing this process.
Thank
We
you.
could talk for hours, and maybe we will continue this discussion, because I think it's great for other writers to hear how it's done, what other people's issues are and how they kind of deal with roadblocks. We all have roadblocks. So thanks for listening.
Thank you. Thank you very
And we
much.
can't wait to read your new book
Yeah.
when it comes out.
Neither can I. I just want to finish it.
Scoundrels. Do we have a name for it yet?
3 Rings of Steel.
3 Rings of Steel. Okay. That sounds really intriguing.
I hope
Wow.
so.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening.